We'll have time for a few more questions at the end, but we wanted to share with you two more stories from two other counties. And the first one is, I mentioned earlier, I do the Challenge Award judging, and every year I look forward to seeing whatever San Benito submitted, because Brent has been doing a lot of very creative things, and this program, a story he's going to tell you, is truly a story. And so Brent Cardall is the Chief Probation Officer from San Benito County, and he's going to tell us about Booked in a Different Way.
I'm going to ask the audience to think back just a few years. When you ate dinner with your parents back in your youth, can you recall where you did that? Wasn't it how many of you ate dinner actually at a dinner table? Raise your hand. That's pretty most of us. What happens nowadays? Where do the children eat dinner at now? TV. That's exactly right. That's part of the problem with our society. We're mandated to really do evidence-based practices, and that's programs that work. And so we're learning through studies all over the place, that, such as the simple thing of eating dinner at a table with your family, having conversation. Those kids are 30% more successful than the other kids that don't have that luxury. So I wanted to come up with programs with graduated sanctions, alternative events, because we cannot incarcerate every single person. And in doing this, I wanted to come up with a program that dealt with evidence-based practices. And if you think back when you raised your kids, the two key elements for success, do you know what they are? Any bold people willing to sound anything out? Well, education's one, and friends is number two. So if they really work at education, they're going to be successful, or if they have great friends, they're most likely going to be successful. Well, that's true in the criminal justice field too. So what we did is three organizations came up with Booked in a Different Way. And what it is a collaboration between the courts, the library, and the probation office. And when offenders violate their probation, we send them back to court, and we screen these offenders that have children, and we recommend to the court that they order them to complete the Booked in a Different Way. And so what we do is we have an orientation. We have 8 classes. The library teaches these parents how to read to their children. And it was amazing to see the fear of these parents reading to their children. At first, they did not want to be there. So we had to have a probation officer there taking roll, making sure that everything's okay. So they were basically mandated to go. And then they have 8 weeks out of class where they have to bring their children to the library and check out books and read with them out of class. The primary objective really is getting parents to spend time with their children. But what really amazed me was the children really loved to read. They got excited. It was amazing to see these kids that initially were not well behaved, pretty rowdy, and when they attended the class, they listened. They were answering questions. We also learned that the older children would dominate and answer all the questions, so you really have to look at your class size and look at the children that you're instructing. But what we really wanted to do too, that we will not be able to measure, but down the years we will, we wanted to break the chain. The average education level of our offenders is in the 9th grade. So all of you politicians out there that really want to do something, the key to success is education. You look at other states such as Minnesota, they do very well with their K through 12 programs, and their crime is much lower than the Western states. So this program can be easily duplicated. It does not cost a lot of money. You just have to have willing participants. to have a judge, look at this and be willing to order clients into this program. Probation office, we spend very little time in supervision. We'll give the librarian a role, and they'll give it back to us. They'll gradually, or they'll pop in and out, make sure that they're doing well. Some of the fear with this program was with the librarians. Frankly, they were really afraid to work with our clientele, and they wanted a background. They wanted to know everything about these clients, and I really said, the less you know, the better you're going to do with these folks. So as they struggled through that, they really saw that. They saw that, hey, they're people too. And, they just have not had some of the opportunities that we have had. That's basically it. It's a simple program. What really truly amazed me again was the excitement of the kids, making their parents, taking them back to the library. None of these children had library cards. I know the world is changing, and that, my kids, they have a school library and they have internet, but their mom also takes them to the library. But life is changing, but we really need to stick with some of those basics that we know is true, such as eating dinner as a family. I mean, those little things add up, and those little things change behavior, and that's exactly what we're about, is changing behavior. The more behavior, the behavior that we can change is basically money, because we're spending billions of dollars with crime. If people go out and shoplift, well, they raise your groceries. I mean, crime is connected to almost everything. Thank you.